Hey, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, and Shalom Babakar. There's a lot going on, man. All right, a lot going on. And, man, there's so much going on, it's hard to even keep up, straight up. Um, I was driving past my local Pizza Hut, okay? There's a retail park near where I reside. And in the 90s, early 2000s, that was a popular place to go, because I remember back in the day, 20 plus years ago, I used to go there with my ex-wife, and and as I drove past there, it looked like it was shut, but they had the lights on to keep it kind of lively so it doesn't look too kind of derelict. But then as I look closer, it has been shut. And I checked. 1 second. All right. Okay, so I said, yes, I checked, if officially is shut. Yes, the Pizza Hut located in certain retail park, all right, is reportedly closed. Okay. It was included in a list of 68 UK restaurants shutting down following the company's entry into administration in October 2025. See, a lot's going on, man. A lot's going to change this year. All right. We've seen the brutality of how Eve is being taken out. I just watched a video on that Jake, that news reporter guy with the glasses, something Rashad, Dr. Rashad or whatever, a 14-year-old girl in the States being slammed to the ground because the copper told her to move from outside the school, but she was waiting for her mother to pick her up. She's 14 years old. She's a child. She's a baby. In this world, she's a child, right? I mean, she's 14, right? Where the heck is she supposed to stand? She's waiting for her mother. But nevertheless, there's a lot of brutality going on. These coppers are getting more brutal. They've always been brutal, of course. Not that they haven't, but they're amplifying it to another level. All right? And that's across the board. But nevertheless, okay, if you've noticed the influx of movies and shows on YouTube to drown the sorrows of people out there and to keep them in a nostalgic vibe and hoping, you got individuals out there building fake or replica blockbuster video stores in their house. Those Edomites that have money or Moabites or whatever, to try and keep that sort of nostalgia alive, right? You've got Pizza Hut, Taco Bell closing in the UK, right? I believe it's shutting in the States as well. Okay. Um, Actually, you know what? I'm not going to check that yet. I don't want to lose my train of thought. I'll leave that at the moment. I'll check that at the end. All right. And and you got to remember as well, 68 UK restaurants. Now, the UK is big for a European country, so-called European country, right? But remember, you can fit the UK into Texas 5 times. So 68 restaurants is a significant dent into the employment market for individuals that are unskilled, for youngsters that are looking for work, part-time work, um, students that need work, or people that are just generally need to make ends meet. So there's a lot being taken away, a lot of subtractions being taken, a lot of subtractions are happening, but there's nothing being added to, as an ointment or a balm to people's pains. But you know what? If it's the heathens, we don't care. If it's the 2/3 or the unelected Israelites, we don't care, right? Jake is a very caring. We're a very caring people, so sometimes we do get a little emotional and we do get a little fed up seeing our people struggle. Especially if you see a Jake or older Jake struggling or whatever, it makes you kind of emotional. Because we're a loving, caring people, right? Okay. But for the most part, this is affecting everybody. Okay. And this is happening on a worldwide scale. Now, this is the UK, right? Let's go to the States. All right. There's a lot going on, man. A lot's going to happen this year, I believe. Things are going to pop off. All right. Because you've got digital wallet being pushed, the CHIP going to be pushed. Lots of movies like Upgrade. I just watched Upgrade again, 2018 movie, and lo and behold, there's actual people out there that are paraplegics or in wheelchairs that are sort of getting upgraded as well. Okay, so there's a lot of enticements out there for people. So they're trying to work your mind into even taking the charagma, the sea hip. Okay, there's so much going on. My mind is like all over the place right now. Okay, so you got a lot of businesses shutting. Okay, there's going to be a war between the haves and have-nots. Okay, you got a lot of junkies and drug addicts, crackheads, and heroin addicts walking up to so-called regular folks saying, "Oh, do you have change? You got 50 pence, or like which would be like about $1 in the states, because they're trying to as they say in the UK, they're trying to raise up cash to go and buy a bag of what, right? And it's a very dystopian, gray, dry world we're coming into. Okay, and businesses are shutting. You're all dressed up and nowhere to go, basically. So even if you order some nice garments online or you find a store that sells some nice shit, all right, you're all dressed up and nowhere to go. You've got Edomites complaining. These beer drinkers, lager drinkers, these soccer fans or whatever. They're saying there's no way to go anymore, right? Pubs are closing, clubs are closing, right? Restaurants are closing. Okay, your mom and pop restaurants are closing. Okay, and I tell you one thing though, the only people that are sort of like thriving to a certain degree, or have got some things popping off, are basically Israelite foreigners that have come from India, because I can speak the language, I can understand what they're saying, right? And I know they're Jake through the spirit. Some of them, not all of them, all right. And then you got Elam in the mix as well with businesses, and they cater basically towards their own anyway. And you got Edomites that like Eastern food, so they come there, right? And there is a big shift happening, man. Okay, then you got the new disease as well. What is it called, Nipah or Nipah, right? There's a whole bunch of others as well, you know. And Esau has been prophesying on the left-hand side in Revelation of the method. I know I've said a lot, okay, but I'm just trying to build up a picture of what's going on and how this is going to amplify. See, a lot's been happening towards the end of 2025. They're trying to lay the roadmap down for 2026, because I believe, Lord willing, things are going to get really heavy duty by the summer. Okay, all right, we're approaching the 250th year of America as well. Most heathen kingdoms don't go beyond a 250-year period. All right, or around about that mark. Our apostles and elders brought that out in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yashai. And Salaki, if I don't say double honors to the apostles, I'm going to do that right now. And double honors to the apostles, elders, elder bishops of Great Millstone, and shalom to the prophets of their body, and shalom to the 144,000 and one-third. May peace and blessings and the spirit of endurance be upon you and your households. All right. Now, in the States, you got Pizza Hut to close 250 US locations due to lagging sales. This is from 7 days ago, right? And I want to read the comments before I play. In the 90s and early 2000s, they were great and affordable, but the food quality went downhill to a point where $7 frozen pizza is even better, right? Pizza Hut was amazing in the 90s. Now it's garbage. I don't ever eat there anymore. It's like most fast food, you know? I mean, probably about 30 years ago, they probably put less poison and less artificial crap in it. It's probably a mixture of both. Probably in the 70s, they probably put more natural things in it or whatever, even burgers and fries. In the 40s and 50s, I believe the food was actually more cleaner and more purer. Hence the reason why people were in shape. The women were in shape, you know. Um, you know, you ate and you defecated, and you weren't looking bloated. And if you were ever fat, if you ever see movies from the 40s and 50s, if you ever see overweight people, it's usually old grandma type women or real older dudes, which is justifiable because they're old. Okay, not like these days you're 25 years old and you damn near weigh 400 pounds. Walking around looking like Big Pun, right? All right. Oh yeah, people are tired of paying $30 for a $5 pizza. They rather go out of business than drop this prices. Sad. Oh well. Well, it's all done by design, man. Okay, which is good, because at the end of the day, we want this MF to fall anyway, regardless. Now I'm gonna play the new segment. It's only 2 minutes 38 seconds. All right, let's go. Okay, so if you look at it, right, like listen, I'm in the UK, right, and in the UK, my local town center, right? All the all the banks are gone. Santander is gone. Halifax is gone. Who else is it? Yeah, good two, three. Oh yeah, Santander. Oh yeah, Barclays is gone, right? And those buildings still stand there, and they're just painted up. And you got homeless people just sleeping in those nooks. You know those nooks and crannies of a building. When you walk into the front door, there's like a little kind of like a porch area, you know, where you can sort of like hide from the wind or the elements. Not really hide from the elements, but you know, you got a little corner to sort of like bury yourself in. That's where they sit, looking all effed up, looking like a caveman. And there are many Edomites that are homeless. And I live in a very multicultural brown area. Edomites are here too, but you know, and it's, but you know, for the 90% of the time, it's Edomites that are homeless. So these curses are coming on these devils. Deuteronomy 30, verse 7. All right. So a lot is going on, man. A lot is going on. You got to understand as well, when jobs are taken away, there is less disposable income. When there's less disposable income, there's less expenditure. When there's a less expenditure, other businesses close as well. So it's an escalation and what they call a snowball effect. One thing affects another. All right. So what you're seeing in real time in this world right now is the demise of Esau, Edom's kingdom. Okay, but they think they're going to surpass. And you know, the Lord Yahweh Shemashai said there are bounds they cannot pass. There's an expiration date. Okay, you can't add. And my phone chimed in, but you didn't hear it, but I heard it. It's a little far away from my from where I'm sitting, but I heard my phone chime in. There's an expiration date. If it chimed in on the expiration date part, okay, there's an expiration date, okay, and you can't add some kind of genetically modified solution on top of the kingdom to prolong it. You know, like you do to bread. You know, bread doesn't even flipping go blue anymore. Doesn't even get like what do you call it doesn't even like it doesn't even you know, when bread used to go off in the 80s, I remember, you know, we used to keep the bread in the bread bin. I used to grab the bread and you know, if you don't eat it within a certain period, you get those blue marks and everything starts getting moldy. That shit don't happen no more. All right? So we don't know what the hell we eat, but we're seeing this world and Esau, Edom, you know, you cannot extend your kingdom regardless of your NW. All right? You're not going to get there. All right? Let's play it. And Salakia for me waffling on, you know, I apologize. I guess, anyway, I'm waffling on against Salakia for that. Let's play the video.
Pizza Hut is one of the most famous brands across the world, but after lagging sales, especially in America, the popular chain will be closing 250 locations in just the coming weeks. Pizza Hut.
What's going on now? Come on. Sorry about this. This is the case every time I try and make a video. 1 second. What the hell's going on? 1 second. Let me refresh the page. It won't even play now. Hopefully no damn commercials come. Just bear with me, please. Oh, come on, man. What was the case?
Pizza Hut is one of the most famous brands across the world, but after lagging sales, especially in America, the popular chain will be closing 250 locations in just the coming weeks. Pizza Hut is a concept of Louis Yum, whose leadership made that announcement during yesterday's earnings call.
And we're bringing in our Conroy Deluche, who's talked to a couple of commercial retail analysts. And Conroy, 250 sounds like a lot. With the experts you talked to, though, they said it's kind of typical when a brand is struggling.
Yeah, the 250 number, that really got headlines across the country, maybe even across the world. And that's in comparison with Yum Brands, which is based here in Louisville. Their stocks have gone up, one of them calling it incredible over the past 10 years, which is a good sign for Louisville, its home base. And speaking of Louisville, right now, there are at least 20 Pizza Huts left right now in Jefferson County, and there are nearly 20,000 across the world. Just more than 6,000 of those are in the United States, so 200 represents about 4% of American locations. I talked with John Bon Jovi, who's professor of management that's Joe Bon Jovi, I should clarify, professor of management at the University of Kentucky's Business School. He has a corporate background in retail, and he says the news to close 250 locations was not surprising, that the chain is a drag on earnings.
This is going to be about finding underperforming restaurants that aren't making money, restaurants that are costing more money to run than they are, profit, and rationalizing the overall footprint.
Joe Bon Jovi from the University of Kentucky, while Papa John's, maybe the more iconic brand based in Louisville, Pizza Hut is a brand under Louisville's based Yum. When I talked with Stephen Larkin, who's a commercial retail specialist out of Florida, he said Yum is in a great position with what he calls an incredible 10-year trend in the stock market, and now they're getting ready to relocate their headquarters to downtown Louisville.
For an international company to maintain their headquarters in Louisville is the biggest sign and step that they
Look at that. There's no reason for this to happen. Damn.
make to demonstrate their commitment to the Louisville area.
And so once again, 250 Pizza Hut stores will be closing. We don't know any locations at this time, or if any of those will be here in Louisville. The company has launched the Hut Initiative, which is ways to modernize technology and to boost the brand across the country. I did reach out to Yum Brands for comment, but have not heard back this time. Doug, Connie, back to you.
All right, let's go to some scriptures now. All right, let's go to Isaiah 46 and 10. I think it's Isaiah 46 for the NLT. I was looking at the scripture earlier. Sorry about that. The internet's been crazy ever since we got, hey man, Esau's just making changes on everything. Where the heck is it? NLT. Isaiah 46 and 10. Only I can tell you the future before it happens. Everything I plan will come to pass, for I do whatever I wish. Okay? And the Lord is, this is all declared from the beginning. Okay? We are just living through each aspect of it. And it's a blessing to see this kingdom fall. Okay? To see these devils, curses come upon these devils. And I can't even tell you the amount of videos I've seen of Edomite looking women beating the hell out of the Edomite men and being ratchet, and their children, sniveling in the street with dirty diapers on, or dirty nappies, what we call in the UK, right? Just looking effed up. And I can't tell you, like, if you go to Jake areas, right, and even maybe Israelite foreigner areas, those areas look bleak because they're not like how it used to be 30 years ago, because I grew up around London, right? They look bleak, but they're not as bleak as the Edomite areas. The Edomite areas are just completely effed up. And these MFers are on all types of benefits and everything, and with no teeth missing and all that. Man, they're going back to their caveman days, and they ain't looking good. These curses are coming on these devils heavy. Deuteronomy 30 verse 7. The Lord is putting these curses on these devils, man. All right. About three, I think, two, three, four more scriptures. Some of these screen recorders are dodgy as well. They won't even let you record news sometimes. I've got to maybe look into a better screen recorder. Lord willing. Anyway, let's go here. Isaiah 19:15. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. No work in Egypt. Okay? And what's Egypt? Egypt is America and its counterparts that are involved in the same process. The UK is part of Egypt. Okay, we got obelisks here. All right, but ground zero is America, of course, the shining city, or was a shining city. Okay, the Lord's putting dirt on it right now. Okay, well, that so-called beacon of light on the left-hand side, what people say, oh, it's got America, living in America. It's not like that no more. You know, when you see old videos and footage of America, the Twin Towers, and the fine-looking, Edomite-looking women walking down the high street of the cities of, of the city of New York, you watch movies from the 70s, you see how New York used to be all mirthy and, just a lot happening. It's not like that no more. It's just a very weird, eerie place. All right. Let's go to Isaiah 24:11. There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. Mirth is excessive laughter, fun, happiness. That's all gone. That's not there anymore. Okay. Let's go to verse 12 as well. In the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. All right. I mean, the cities around here, I mean, they look desolate. Okay, and it's not in full destruction mode yet. How much more? Okay, how much more as time passes, and the Lord is speeding up the time for the elect's sake, and from that's in the book of Matthew. All right, and then Revelation 12:12. The Lord, Esau is going to go crazy because he knows he's got a short time. Do you know how much they're trying to struggle not to go against Salaki? You know how much they don't want to go into slavery? So don't you think they're going to fight tooth and nail? They're going to pull out all their weaponry and all their shit that they've been working on the left-hand side, all their laser type weapons, all their cyborgs, all their cyborg dogs, super soldiers, Iron Man suits. They're going to pull all their, all their weaponry out, man. Because Esau's been, his gift is a sword. Okay, so they don't want to go into slavery. So they're shutting everything down, taking everything away from you. Okay, then what they're going to do is when the financial system crashes, then they're going to give you the micro C-hip, Revelation 13:16. And then what they're going to do is they're going to shine a torch, a light on that C-hip. They're going to say, okay, they might even show commercials. If you take the C-hip, you can go back to, there's a different world within, there's a place called Center Parcs here in the UK, which is like a climatized environment in a glass kind of a glass building or a glass container. Because in the UK we don't have weather like Miami, right? So you can go there all year round, and the climate is controlled in there. Okay, you can do swimming, go to restaurants, and you can live in the village which is nearby, or you can live within the premises, Center Parcs, right? So I'm thinking, the Lord might put a spirit on these devils to even advertise or commercialize the micro C-hip in terms of showing commercials of, if you take the micro C-hip, you can have, you can live here, in this environment. Look at the beautiful restaurants we have, the clothing, and you live in these 15-minute city type environments. So and then people will be looking at these commercials saying, oh man, this is how we used to live. 25 years ago, look at it. Look how people are dressed and they're all happy. Their families are together. They're sitting in a restaurant eating. The job looks good. We don't have to worry about parking. Everything's 15-minute cities or those electric scooters or whatever. They're going to show you an ideal world, but really behind it, okay, is something real sinister. I mean, obviously it's sinister because it's the micro C here, but even more sinister because they're not going to let you live in happiness like that. They want to keep you completely, on lockdown, right? They want you to be a permanent slave, but they're going to use very, like the movie. If you've seen the movie Upgrade, all right, okay. Eventually, what happens? The man thinks he's got control over the C hip in him. What happens? The C hip takes over in the end, okay, and he doesn't have control of his faculties or anything anymore. All right, it's over for him. That's how it's going to be. Okay. So Isaiah 24:11, there is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened, the mirth of the land is gone. Verse 12, in the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. All right. Ecclesiastes 12:3, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. Okay. No jobs. All right. Everything looks bleak out the window. Haven't we seen videos of people saying that, oh, I can't, I'm trying to look for a job, and I've been looking for a job for a year. I can't, I've cut down on, women be saying they're cutting down on buying makeup and deodorants, and they're using less deodorant, or they go through, they're not using deodorant no more. They're trying to cut down on everything, all the so-called luxuries of this world. If you watch the movie, what's that movie? The Book of Eli, right? One of his his crew, a cracker, whoever his name is, Gary Oldman, is it? Whatever his name is, the Edomite in the movie, because he's got that Israelite woman that's his concubine. The woman that plays Solara's mother, she's Jake. She's just a light skinned Jake woman, I believe. I think her father's Jake and her mother's white, so-called white, Esau Edom. When they find like a little container of shampoo, those little miniatures that they give you, those samples, when they found it and he smelled it, oh, shampoo, and the people didn't know what it was. That's how it's going to be. All right. These luxuries, that perfumes and nylons and tights and weight makeup is going to be luxury very soon. And my phone had to chime in again on that. That's how it's going to be. All right. But it's not going to be like an ongoing world where we have to endure all this. Okay. The elect are going to be good. All right. Okay. Ecclesiastes 12:3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. All right. No jobs. Everything looks bleak. Everything looks, just like a real sad case. All right. And what does Esau Edom like to do? Along with destroying their world, what they're doing right now, they got videos, AI videos, crisis actors, AI statements, and people, leaving these so-called racist messages on every page. And, some are literal, some are done by agents or AI or whatever. To what? To increase the race war, Jacob's trouble. All right. Which is, Jacob's trouble, Jeremiah 30 verse 7, I believe. All right. To amplify that. And when Esau Edom doesn't get his way, or they're losing their so-called power, what they're going to do? They're going to blame people of color. That's how it's going to be. All right. And the footage is showing, see, Esau Edom's not going to ask you, oh, are you an Arab or are you a Latino? Are you a West Indian or are you a Somalian? They're going to look at your brown skin and go for you. All right. Jacob's trouble is everybody's trouble, but Jacob is a primary target because we have the earth and beyond next under the spirit and power, under the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yashai. Verse 4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, okay, no jobs, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Okay? All right? The music is trash. There is no music to keep you upbeat. There is no music anymore to keep you in a positive state of mind. There is no music anymore to listen to. Like, when you used to go out back in the day, I remember 20, 30 years ago, we'd go out, you'd have some music on, you might have a bit of R. Kelly on or whatever, you might have the group Next, one of my, favorite R&B groups from back in the day, you listen to that, get all ready and stuff, you'd be getting dressed and ironing your clothes and shit, you come out the shower, You know, your woman calling you, come and pick me up. What time are you coming? You know, it's a nice sunny day in July 1997. You know, that flavor is not there anymore. It's not there anymore. You know, a nice Saturday afternoon, your woman waiting for you. She's looking fine as wine. You know, waiting outside her house, and you come, you know, in your car, freshly washed a couple of days ago, polished up and that, and you're looking sharp. You pick her up and you go somewhere. Those days, those days, you know, that kind of feeling with the music is gone. All right. Okay, that's why people listen to what? More older music. People don't even listen to this new bullshit unless you're fucking crazy Gen Z, you know, bugged out, you know. And the doors shut when the sounding of the grinding is low. Doors are shut. Doors are literally shut. A lot of these buildings have these artificial pictures painted on them. They've got these artificial characters of so-called human beings that it makes it look like there's somebody's in the building, but it's not. It's just basically like a bunch of cartoon character type things. Fake flower pots, fake windows, fake doors to make the street look a little bit lively, but really it's just an illusion. All right. And the doors shall be shut in the street when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. All right. So what you're witnessing in real time is the demise of this world, man, and it's only going to increase. Okay. You know, while I was looking for the Pizza Hut thing, because I saw my local Pizza Hut shut, and then I saw the further closure of other stores. And America's a huge landmass, and I'm sure there's other Pizza Huts still there. And I've seen videos of certain areas, maybe in these kind of remote type areas in America, you know, these mountainous type areas, which have the odd Blockbuster still there, you know. So there are some of these things here and there, specialist shops, but as a whole, you know, it's like now, if you want to buy some clothes and you actually want to physically see these clothes, you have to find a specialist store that caters for your needs, you know, because sometimes you want to actually see the product before you buy it, right? And it takes a little bit takes a little extra time to buy shit these days because it's so, you know, because you got to look at it on the screen, you know, and you got to judge it. You know, how does it, you know, how does it look? How does it feel? You know, all these kinds of things as you do, because, you know, it's not tangible until you actually get it in the post, right? So we're just seeing this complete demise of this world, man. And there's so much going on, as mentioned, man. Different businesses shutting, you know, it's the same across the board, and it's a beautiful thing because we are witnessing it, you know. And Brakti Habashim Ashai, man, for this truth. And let me start again. Brakti Habashim Ashai, for his name, the Rakak Quadash, and his truth, man, you know, because it all fits like a jigsaw puzzle. All right. And this is going to just amplify, all right, the hatred and vexation for East, you know, between Esau, Edom. Well, they hate us. They hate Jake anyway. They hate us anyway. But all right. But you know, Esau. Every time they don't get their way, they like to blame you Israelites. Okay. All right. I mean, they hate you. The Hispanic Latino brothers in America. Now the brothers, you know, have left certain jobs and certain fields where they're picking fruit or doing the hot, whatever kind of work they were doing in these farms. Right. Now these Edomites are what? Losing their marbles. Their businesses are shutting. They're going to lose businesses. They're going to lose contracts. They'll be sued by the people they got contracts with. So, you know, Esau, Edom, you know, what do you want? Do you want the, okay, and plus, okay, if all these people that are not there, these so-called Hispanics, right, are not working, and you crackers are looking for jobs, why don't you go and work for your own people? It'll be the white man working for white, it'll be Edomites working for each other, all right? But they don't even get along amongst each other, you know, these Edomites, you know, Satan versus Satan, right? All right, anyway, you know, ultimately it's going to lead to a complete war in the streets. All right. When people can't feed their families, when people can't take care of themselves, and Esau Edom sees, you know, keeps, you know, looks at all the propaganda online and all the brown or dark brown faces they show online. You know, you're the face of terror, you're the face of trouble, you're the face of all their problems, you're the cancer. Well, ultimately, the Esau Edom is a cancer, but they're looking at you, Jacob, as a cancer. What do you think is going to happen? when they can't keep their beautiful big homes, when they can't keep their manicured lawns, when they can't keep Maria, right? Or what's another Latin type name? They can't keep Maria or Vanessa Diaz or something, right? I'm just coming out name top of my head, right? They can't keep her as a maid in the house or a housekeeper. They can't have that. They've got to do everything themselves. What do you think that's going to happen? You know? And then they're going to go for the immigrants, saying, oh, yeah, all these benefits, his money's being given to immigrants and it's not coming to us. They're just going to blame you, And you got to look at it. I mean, think what Esau Edom is thinking. They're thinking that, oh, our lives are slipping away. We're going to, everything is leaving us. So they're going to fight tooth and nail. All right. So if you're not covered by the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yashai, you're not covered. All right. You're not covered by Yahweh Bashem Yashai's wings. You're not going to make it. All right. The only people that are going to leave out of America alive, right? Obviously new bodies, because they're going to be in the chariots, are the elect Israelites. Every single heathen, every single 2/3 in America, right, will be deleted. Okay? The unelect around the world will be deleted. Okay? But the elect around the world will be picked up. Okay? So this is going to get real serious out here. I know we just started on Pizza Hut, but this is like a snowball effect on everything else. One thing affects another. All right? One thing affects another. All right, I'm going to leave it there now. All praise to Yahweh, Bashem Yashai, Bashem Rakak Radash, Mawatha Bad Babal, Kwame Yashrala, Shalom.